Hello everybody, Crypto Knights here, coming at you with another one of my daily Apex Trader videos. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a new subscriber, well, thanks for hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget, folks, if you do enjoy my videos, feel free to hit that like button, just a thumbs up right there down below. And if you want to comment on anything I do talk about or discuss in these videos, please feel free to comment down below. And usually I try to answer pretty quickly. And if you do like my videos, feel free to subscribe, hit that bell, it'll let you know when I drop another video, and I'll make sure to ring your bell when those videos drop. Also, as a side note, please keep in mind, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not here to give you financial advice. These are just my opinions, my thoughts, and where I'm going with the market, and offering any insights I might have come up with and sharing it with you guys, and then you take it as you will. Make sure you are doing your own research, learning from multiple sources, getting your information from more than just one area, and then go from there. So with that said, I do want to apologize for not dropping a video the past couple days. Kind of needed a break, needed some time to do my own thing. I've been doing some research, some learning, understanding how to do TradingView a little bit better, and understanding certain indicators and stuff, so I can put together some better triggers and whatnot, which I've been working on, and the new ones have been working out pretty well, so I'm pretty happy with those. Plus, I've been working on a whole new Ethereum idea that I'm actually pretty excited for. I just gotta work out the kinks for it. So anyway, we'll go really quick into the market. We'll give it a quick refresh here, and so from the last, I actually had done a video previously to this one and messed it up because I realized I didn't have my mic plugged all the way in. So we've gone up 0.1%. So Bitcoin dominance is up to 52%, 0.2% for the day. Trading volume for the past 24 hours has been around 16 billion, which isn't too bad considering where the market's been for the most part. And our market cap's rolling around 216 billion. So heading into Binance, as you can see, the past couple days since Monday has been just a lot of ups and downs. We were at 6,700, and then we took a massive drop, and all the way down to almost 6,300. Kind of held some support at 64, started making our way back up, and then this is what I didn't like was yesterday, and I'm just going to drop over to the 5-minute candle real quick just to give you guys an idea. It's going to go over. There we go. So as you can see on the 5-minute candle here, yesterday we had this, early this morning, we had this huge pump in a very short period of time. I wasn't really, to me that's just spells manipulation, like someone was trying to push the market back up. You had a whale up there or whatever. To me that wasn't going to hold. I was even expecting for it to drop back down all day because there was no support behind it. It was just one huge candle, and the way I feel about Bitcoin going up right now, if it's going to go up correctly and hold that line, it needs to go up in steps and not in giant candles unless it's breaking an actual area of support. And you would see a lot more volume behind that happening as well. So I was expecting that drop today, and it happened. And it's been an interesting week, just seeing this going back and forth. But it was nice to see that 6,400 line hold. We've been starting to make lower or higher lows, so that's a good sign the market's going in the right direction. But these things don't happen overnight, just because you see one big candle and a sudden resurgence, and then all of a sudden the moon boys come out of from underneath their beds and start yelling out, "We're going into a bull run." So it's always funny to see these things happen, and then they scurry back under the bed like little children. The bull run will happen, folks. You just gotta be patient for it. My sentiment on this is we're still in the bear market. We're still going to see a lot of these red candles. You're still going to see a lot of ups and downs. So you got to be prepared. You got to be careful with your trading. If you use an Apex Trader, make sure your panic sell triggers are in place. Ethereum, Ethereum's having the same run, going up and down. following Bitcoin. So, you know, we're back down to what, $216 right now. USD pairs are getting smashed at the moment. Ethereum pairs, you know, it's a mixed bag, more green than red, but you know, we're going to see a lot of ups and downs with that. And of course, Bitcoin, more reds than greens, kind of a mixed bag as well. And as trading continues to move sideways and ups and downs, you know, the market's always going to follow through with that. You know, I don't really have like any thoughts of where the market's going to go particularly. I think we're still going to be stuck in, you know, this whole channel of, you know, between 6,400 and, you know, 6,700. You know, and then whoever decides to break either up or down, well, you know, you have to be prepared for either way. And of course, we all hope for an up, you know, for an up breakout. But if Bitcoin breaks through that 6,800 level, keep in mind that there's a lot of levels of resistance for Bitcoin to go through, very strong resistance, before it can even be considered, you know, going back into a bull run. You know, so keep that in mind that, yeah, you know, maybe next week we might break 6,800, but then we have that 7,000 line, and then that 7,200, and you know, 74 and 78. So there's a lot of levels of resistance up ahead. Bitcoin's got a very long road ahead before it can break out of this bear market. You know, there's just, to me, there's still not a lot of buying power behind it. So on the Apex Trader, I've had some really good success with the new Venom. Obviously, Monday was a tough day for anyone trading in Bitcoin. Normally, when I saw that Bitcoin dropped under that 6,700 level, I would have sold, but I needed the data to be able to start really refining my triggers, so I needed to see certain levels at Bitcoin. So I just kind of wrote it down, took the loss, but it helped me hit to my 2.0 version of my Bitcoin panic sell, which I'm really proud of. And I will be publishing. I don't know if it'll be tonight but it'll definitely be out sometime tomorrow. You know, Tuesday was sort of a middle of the road day. You know, no big gains or losses there. Wednesday, definitely a good day at 1.84%. And yesterday was another good day, almost at 3% on that. So, so far I'm overall in the green using Venom. And today, you know, my numbers are a bit skewed. I hit 2 panic sells with my trigger. So, you know, I think in the end that saved me a lot of money on that. So they worked exactly like they were supposed to. Going into my triggers, I'm going to show you guys what I've done and the ideas behind it. So first of all, I have my buy stop, and the idea behind this particular trigger is no matter what strategy is, at some point, no matter what you buy, it's going to turn into an instant loss. So the idea behind this is when Bitcoin hits, I dropped it down to 0.9% negative. So when Bitcoin drops down to 0.9%, this kicks in, turns off the buy, only enables sell. It's basically there to prevent you from catching on to any extra bad positions. And it also gives it time before the panic sell hits. So if this is enabled, you know, you have some leeway. So in case Bitcoin recovers, it doesn't, you know, jump the gun on it and blow your wad all over the place. And it prevents you, while it is in that free fall, from taking on any bad positions. So if you do panic sell, or if it just hits a stop loss, it's limiting your losses. Remember, folks, you only buy in the dips. You don't buy when it's going down into the basement. And this part, you know, I just put this at, like, you know, if it goes up 25%. I had this lower, but what was happening was every time Bitcoin went up to that certain percentage, it was triggering this, and, you know, my logs were just going all over the place. So you really don't need this part. Actually, you know, it'd be cool, the devs are hearing this, is someday when you guys do triggers, if it's just possible, maybe just to have a trigger that there's only a buy or a sell trigger, not necessarily needing both. I don't know if that's possible, if anyone else has suggested it, but you know, that would be cool. So really this one's just centered around the drop. You know, once it drops, it's going to turn off your buy and save you guys some money. And on my BTC dump, this is version 2.0, and it worked really well on both drops, even the most recent one. Obviously, there's still some issues selling the tether, you know, and we're going to go into that in a minute, but it panic sold extremely well, you know, when it was supposed to, both times. So I feel that this is set. I moved it to an hour candle at negative 1.5% drop, and then this should kick in. You know, I went through Monday just to really get the data to when I felt was a good panic sell, and then I went through TradingView and looked at a lot of the previous drops, you know, for when was a good candle to use and a good percentage drop. On the buy back in from Tether, I'm using actually indicators. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Sir Bevo had been talking about percentages and whatnot, and had mentioned that you know, it'd be a good idea to look into indicators for a buy back in, and I thought that was a great idea. And then I was talking to Venom about it, and he gave me a link to some really great information. And I read through that and a little bit more on the website, and threw in some indicators, and it's more of a safe indicator. It's my cooldown period for this is 60 minutes on the sell. And the indicator is just designed to make sure that at certain conditions, when we are, you know, when it looks like Bitcoin's going back up, as more of a safe buy-in. Obviously, if this happens and you want to buy in early, you're, you know, more than welcome to go into it. This is more if you're not around and there's a panic sell, then when Bitcoin hits the requirements, it'll buy back in. It's just a safety feature to ensure that you're not buying back in too early and then you have another Bitcoin drop. You know, so that's what's up with that. But it worked. You know, having some issues still selling the Tether, but that's all right. I went through manually, pushed it through Tether, and then I bought back in manually. You know, it seemed like things were kind of going on the 30-minute chart. Things were, you know, kind of stabilizing out, which they've been staying pretty steady at 6,500 since the drop. So yeah, definitely proud of the two triggers. Now with Ethereum, I did open up my second bot to Venom 5.0, trading in Ethereum. So I'm going to be creating a number of triggers around this. But instead of so much using Ethereum movement for my triggers, I'm using Bitcoin. When Bitcoin moves, Ethereum moves. And so to me, it's kind of like an early warning system. You know, because obviously if Bitcoin is going to move first, then, you know, the altcoins will follow, but there's a little bit of a, you know, a lag. So to me, following the Bitcoin and using your triggers on the Bitcoin, you know, you can maybe, you know, catch that panic sell when your Ethereum pairs are still in the positive and sell them before, you know, they drop like a stone in the water. So I do have a buy stop for Ethereum for both it going up and going down. The reason being is on both ends of the spectrum, you know, it's going to take a minute for the pairs to catch up. So again, it's just stopping you from getting into any bad pairs. Now the Ethereum panicked up, I'm actually going to probably have two different triggers for this. One for up, one for when Bitcoin goes up, and one for when Bitcoin goes down. Obviously when Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum goes up and the pairs go straight to hell. And but Bitcoin's always going to wind up going up first before Ethereum follows. So again, you know, if it panic sells at the right, if I can get the right moment to panic sell it at, you're going to panic sell on a positive instead of a negative. And I think everyone would prefer that. Now, with the panic sell with Bitcoin going down, I do know and realize that when Bitcoin goes down, the Ethereum pairs do better. But the problem is you're losing money on Ethereum. So from Ethereum is 220, and then it drops down to 215. You just lost a number of positions on that. Personally, so for this one, when Bitcoin goes down a certain percentage, the idea will to panic sell from Ethereum to Tether, and then once Bitcoin calms down, buy back into Ethereum with a better position. So yeah, you might have lost some wins with that, but you would have gained a lot more buying back in when Ethereum hits that bottom, and then you gain maybe a couple more positions instead of just losing a couple more positions. That's my take on that. But that's, this is in its early processes. Still trying to get the data on Bitcoin to Ethereum and when's best to buy and sell and things like that. So this might be a while. But that's my idea behind it. I think it's, I like the idea of using Bitcoin as an early warning system to Ethereum pairs, and might save me some money in the long run. So that's pretty much how I'm doing so far today. The performance on this, kind of rough with some up and down action, but I'm sure I'll gain some on gain some ground on that as the night goes on. So really quick, I just want to remind you guys, because I see this a lot, Apex Trader is still in the beta phase. So, like my trigger, on the first drop early this morning, my trigger didn't work very well. For some reason, when it kicked in, it was having problems talking to Binance, and everything turned into those orange little triangle caution signs. And, it went through like a couple of tries of panic before everything sold. And then, obviously, from my error message on here, it's still having issues selling my BTC to USDT. But that's okay. I think because this bot works so well that we forget that this is still beta testing. We're all guinea pigs. Even like those of us that participated in the beta test of the current version, that we're all as a group beta testing together. These things, you're going to encounter problems. You're going to things, sometimes new features might not work correctly, and that's kind of up to us to make sure that we look at the logs, let the devs know, and remember that the devs aren't working on this full time. They have full-time jobs too. The goal that we all hope is they get enough subscriptions to be able to do this full time, and I really hope that happens. I mean, this is a great bot, and I think we all can agree that even in these early stages of this bot, this performs so much better than other bots that shall not be named. No reason to pick on the inferior competition. And I think sometimes we forget that because it does such a phenomenal job. So please, I know some of you complain, well, the strategy's not working or the bot's not working. It's not always the bot or the strategy either. The market's volatile. And with it swinging from one way to the other, you're going to have stop losses, and you're going to have bad days, and you're going to have really good days. Welcome to cryptocurrency. That's all I have to say on that. But I just want to remind you guys to have patience with the dev team to, when you do encounter a problem, follow the steps, hit the support channel, throw the logs in there, let them know what the problems are so they can look into it. And the more data that they have from us, the easier it is for them to narrow down the problems and then to take care of the bugs. I had a comment in one of my videos the other day. It was over the weekend when the 0.10 upgrade happened, and this gentleman left a comment saying that he was going to do it, but he was trying to get his subscription on the update rollout. Again, folks, just common sense, and it doesn't matter, honestly, what it could be an established bot. When there's an update being rolled out, there's going to be a lot of work on the servers. There's going to be a lot of activity. You know, if you encounter a problem, you kind of have to expect that. You know, if you have a problem signing up when there's a rollout happening, you know, you kind of have to take that into account. He said he'll check it out again next year. Well, you know, we hope we can see him next year, and then, you know, at that point, I'm sure this, you know, Apex Trader will be at the top of the food chain, and they'll have to change the name from Apex Trader to Apex Predator because it eats up all the competition. Personally, and I know a lot of people feel the same way as I do, the dev team, the support team, you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. There's a great product here. You guys are only making it better with each update and each rollout. You know, I just think we need to remember that sometimes, because it does work so well, we forget it's still in the beta phase. And that's really just why I wanted to end this with today. It was just a reminder that we are all our guinea pigs, and we're just here to feed the dev team and the support team information on things that are going wrong or things that are happening on our end, so they can address it and make the further versions even better. You know, there's a lot of great ideas, and I'm sure that the coding on this is not easy. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I should have the updates to my 2 triggers for Bitcoin out sometime tomorrow. I just want to give it another night to roll out and make sure everything's functioning the way it's supposed to. And I hope you guys have happy trading. Thank you very much for watching the video today. If you enjoyed the content, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and we'll talk to you guys soon. And this is Kryptonite signing out.